2017. It is 5:30 p.m. Jerry Romero, we'll do roll call. Jerry Romero present. Lori Searles. Vince Perez. Mike Rosales.
Yep.
Gary Gondra. Ben Morales.
Here.
Chuck Taylor.
Here.
Al Velarde. Joyce Wilson. Here. We do have a quorum. Let's go ahead and do Pledge of Allegiance. Please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Okay, moving on to tab item 1, public comment. Do we have anybody here for public comment?
Mr. Chairman, we do not have anybody here for public comment.
All right, moving on to tab item 2, the approval and signing of the minutes from the September 21st, 2017 meeting. You all have had the package. Is there any questions or comments in regards to the minutes? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Rosales. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Taylor. All in favor, aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to tab item number 3, the review and the approval of the financial reports for August 2017. There was an error in the line item. There is no September 2017 financials as we're in the middle of finishing up the audit. So we'll be reporting on August.
Yes, good evening. Rosa Goldman, Chief Financial Officer. And we are presenting the financial report for the month of August 2017. The report contains the balance sheet, report of revenues, expenditures, and changes in cash balance, investment report, and the note to the financial report. Under the note to the financial report, we have this month the account supplemental temporary help over budget this month by $2,305.80, but last month we had $1,291.44, so that gives us a total over budget of $3,597.24. The encumbered funds balance for litigation reserve is, as of August, $47,464, and for the strategic plan reserve is $1,791. I passed out an additional sheet for the particular report that is right behind this one, and it was because the one that we have submitted had an error under the variance total. It should be what you have on that sheet that I just passed, 49,669. In the previous one, it was some other number. And that's all we have for the financial report. Do you have any questions?
Rosa, on the asset line item, it's showing that we're over budget almost $200,000. I know we've had a conversation around that again. Is that the vehicle and some other stuff?
No, it's the strategic plan. If you look at the bottom of the same report, the one line before the last one, it has the same amount as a positive, $198,208.
Okay.
Because these monies that were encumbered from last year to be used this year. So we show what we spent this year, but then we show that it was kind of like reimbursed or taken from last year's encumbered funds.
And that's the same thing you're doing for the legal fees.
Exactly.
So,
And for next year, the strategic plan is actually built into the budget and won't be in under an encumbered fund going into 2017-18 budget.
Correct.
So help me here. How do you reconcile the litigation reserve on the following page?
Yes.
Where you have a $47,000 balance?
Yes.
How do you...
Well, because we started with 800,000, and then if you deduct all the other amounts, it gives you a balance of the 47,000.
Okay. So on the encumbered fund, shouldn't that read legal 800,000 on the year-to-date budget?
Well,
No, because under the legal, okay, no, because we have under the budgeted 330,000. So we are showing how much was in the actual budget for this year, because the other amount is not this year's budget. It was from monies from last year's that we carried over to be used this year because we knew that this year we didn't have amount in the budget.
Now remember, this is for 2017 September, so it's for the budget that's already passed.
Right.
So yeah, so this shows that we used up everything on the line item. Then we went into the encumbered fund. So the board had asked that we keep that separate so that you could keep it separate total.
And I understand. What I was trying to get at is that we had 330,000 originally allocated.
In the budget.
In the budget for legal funds for everything.
Right.
And then we added $800,000. I'm just trying to reconcile that the 8 and the 330, so the 47,000 doesn't come up on the statement of revenues.
Right.
Well, the 47,000 is the balance that we have from the 800,000 that
It's
were
the 800.
encumbered.
Right. Right. Yeah, just under that encumbered 800,000, not
Right.
under the 800 plus the 330.
Right.
Just under the 800. Hopefully, it'll be different going into the existing budget.
We wanted to keep it kind of track it separate. That's how the board had asked us to do it.
Are there any other questions on the financials? If there are none, I'll entertain motion to approve them as presented. We have a motion by Ms. Wilson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morales. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the tab item 4, the monthly health benefit and dental insurance plan report for September.
Right. We are showing already the month of October. If you look at the next page, on top, we have October 2017, which is the first month of this fiscal year. And we have a balance of $595,005. And then below, you can see the entire last fiscal year, which ended on September, with a balance of $626,483. So we are showing an entire, year of 2016-17, and then the 1 month for the current fiscal year 17-18.
And I do have Ms. Gabrielle Melendez, who's going to give you an update over this past year, just a brief update of the services that we had under the new plan TML. So if you want her to come up right now, we can have her give you that.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good. Thank you.
You don't need an update?
No,
Okay.
we're good. Thanks a lot, though.
Oh, great. It's working well. It's working real well. Short turnaround. Employees seem really happy with it. So we just have gone into our second year of a 3-year agreement with them. So good.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, then, let's go ahead and move on to number 5, discussion regarding the EPCAD employee vision plan option.
Board members, Mike Dennis is here. He'll pass out some information. This is a volunteer plan. It does not come out of our budget whatsoever. It is a volunteer plan for the employees. What we do as an appraisal district is we will go out and try to get the best plan available for the employees. It's already gone into effect, but we wanted the board to know what we are offering the employees. Again, this is the employees pay for this. The district pays zero amount into this. It's just another service that we want to do or want to give to our employees. We have 81 employees that are participating in this, and out of that 81, we have 8 that have included their children, 12 that have included their spouse, 15 that have included their spouse, and 12 that have family coverage. Mike, if you want to make your recommendation.
Good evening. My name is Michael Dennis. I'm with Compass Benefits. I'm the insurance broker for EPCAD. Well, as you can see in the folder on the right side is the renewal letter from Superior Vision. After a 3-year rate guarantee, effective January 1 of 2018, it is going up by about 4%, which amounts to about 24 cents per month of premium increase. As Dinah had mentioned, this is a voluntary program. And there are 2 insurance companies that specialize in vision insurance in this market, pretty much. They're the dominant players, which are VSP and Superior Vision. VSP has a larger network. However, their costs are about 30% higher. Superior Vision, their network is still very, very strong. However, their rates are much more competitive. Okay. As you can see, by the renewal letter, they are offering a 4-year rate guarantee. So that rate guarantee will end December 31st of 2012. a very, very competitive product. Your districts.
2021.
I mean, 2021, I
Go
apologize.
forward, not backwards, yeah.
2021. This product should be familiar with your districts. Superior Vision pretty much has a monopoly in the El Paso market. The city, the county, most of the school districts employ Superior Vision for the vision insurance. Any questions?
Dinah, you said 80,
81 employees participate in this.
what percentage of total employees is that?
Out of 140 that are budgeted, so
Okay, good benefit.
Do we need to take it, we don't need to do anything.
you don't need to do anything. This is, because it is a volunteer program for the employees, it doesn't come out of our budget, but we wanted the board members to know that we were able to get a decent rate with a 4-year guarantee for the employees.
Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Moving on to tab item 6, I'm actually going to table tab item number 6, and the reason I'm doing this is that we're going to wait until we hear back from the taxing entities, because we've sent letters out to them regarding whether they're going to appoint new members or not. So I'd like to wait. If there are some new members, hopefully give them the opportunity if they'd like to participate in this process. So moving on to tab item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding the printer maintenance agreement.
I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Stone to make a presentation.
We currently have a printer maintenance agreement with Dayhill, which is a subsidiary of Xerox. They provide all of our toner for all of our printers, and they provide maintenance to the printers. We've had them for the last 3 years, and we've been generally satisfied with their performance of the contract. Their contract has expired, and we need to get another source for printer maintenance. We went out to 3 companies to get quotes. We checked with Dayhill. We also checked with Spectrum Technologies and D&F Copier Services. Each company gave us an estimated monthly charge for the contract. It's actually based on actual usage on the printers, which we provide to them the count of how many pages there are, and they have different prices for the color and the black and white, and they give us a set number of impressions per month, and if we go past that, then there's also an overage charge. So each company provided an estimated monthly cost to us. Dayhill had the lowest monthly estimate with $3,478 per month. Spectrum came in at $3,581, and D&F came in at $4,250. I'm recommending that we go with Dayhill for another 3-year contract because they have the lowest estimated cost. They're also offering to replace all of our printers at no charge, or it's rolled into the cost of their contract, which is still the lowest. Approximately 75% of our existing printers are over 5 years old. So we are planning on replacing all of the printers with new printers, and that way we can get OEM manufactured toner cartridges cheaper. And because in our existing contract, we're getting refurbished toner cartridges, and we had some issues with print quality and that they were exploding in some of the printers, and we had to replace some printers because of that. So we determined that we'd rather use OEM cartridges than the refurbished cartridges. But to keep using HP, most of our existing printers are HP. It's prohibitively expensive to use HP original equipment toner cartridges. So they're going to replace our printer fleet with Brother Printers, which is also a major brand, and we're going to be able to use OEM cartridges. Also, Dayhill is under the DIR contract with the state of Texas, and we already have a 3-year relationship with them that we've worked out the kinks in the business model of us working with them. So because of all that, and because they're the lowest price, we're recommending that we go again with Dayhill for 3 years. Yes, sir.
What about routine maintenance?
They provide maintenance to the printers, and they also replace the toner card. They provide us with toner cartridges.
an additional charge?
No, it's all included, all inclusive in the contract.
What was the prior cost of the three-year contract?
I'm sorry, I don't have that. 32 or 33,000.
For 3 years.
Yeah, it was for 3 years.
The current three-year contract was gonna be how much?
It's gonna,
34.
it's gonna basically be 41,736 a year. And mainly it's an increase, such an increase because we're replacing the printers, because we want to use original equipment manufacturer toner cartridges because of the issues that we've had in the past.
Dayhill has responded to us. Anytime we've had an issue, they've been spot on, coming in. They're, not too far from our building and local.
And we have budgeted this in the current budget at 46,000, so it's coming in under the budgeted amount, but we're not sure what the overage is gonna end up being, and that's why we budgeted it a little bit higher.
So I'm okay with the recommendation, but going in the future, it would actually be helpful if you all could document that when you have multiple bids, and because you're reading off the different responses. And so,
We sent that information with the board
was
packet.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, then my apologies.
Was the board packet?
Yes, sir. It
I
was
thought
sent in
it was
with
the
the board.
electronic one. I scanned it, but I didn't see it. I'll see it. That's okay, fine. I'll move to approve.
And it's in the breakdown of the agenda items. It's under number 7. We kind of broke it down there for you on just the agenda itself.
Okay.
Number 7, we had all that.
What do you mean broke it down, Dan? I'm
I
sorry.
don't see it anywhere. No, that's fine. If it was at the backup and I didn't see it, that's fine. I just didn't see it.
Okay.
It was my fault.
No, we're trying to respond
It
to
was
the
my
board's
fault.
inquiry
Yeah.
about sending information.
So we have a motion to approve the contract from Ms. Wilson. Is there a second?
So moved.
We have a second by Mr. Rosales. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Oh, here it is.
Any approved? Motion, any opposed?
Oh, here it is right here.
Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Okay, moving on to number 8, discussion of possible action regarding the December 2017 Board of Directors meeting.
Mr. Chairman and board members, historically, we've not had a December board meeting. We do meet, according to the property tax code, a board of directors for appraisal district has to meet at least 4 times a year and at least once every quarter. We meet that. For this last quarter, we've had 2 meetings, September and October. So historically, we don't meet in July because we certify, and in December, because of the holidays, trying to get a quorum, a lot of entities are trying to finish up, if they're on a year calendar, trying to finish up. So our recommendation to the board is, again, to not have a meeting in December, that our next meeting would be January 18th. And that time, we would have our audit ready and the other information going forward.
Any questions, concerns?
I agree.
That's
So
fine.
moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Rosales. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morales. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to tab item number 9, discussion and possible action regarding the El Paso Central Appraisal District's proposed 2018 holiday schedule.
I believe you guys received this in your packet, the 2018 holiday schedule. We sent that out to everybody to review, and we're just recommending this holiday schedule for next year.
Are these dates generally consistent with like the federal? Do you
Yes, ma'am.
follow federal?
It's
Or
like Martin
state?
Luther King, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Independence Day, the Christmas, the New Year's,
That's fine.
Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, the day after.
Okay. Want me to make a motion?
Sure.
I'll move.
We have a motion to approve the proposed holiday schedule for 2018. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Rosales. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to tab item 10, discussion and possible action regarding the El Paso Community College invoice.
Mr. Chairman, we have a couple of gentlemen from El Paso Community College. It was an item number 10 in your follow-up on your agenda. Mr. Fernando Flores has come in to visit with the board. There was a late payment on an invoice. The entities pay on a quarterly basis, and they, under section 606 of the tax code, there is a option that they're allowed to come before the board and ask for a waiver on the interest that's charged. So I'm going to let Mr. Flores present his case to the board of directors.
Good afternoon, Chairman Romero, members of the board, Executive Director, Chief Appraiser, Dinah Kilgore. My name is Fernando Flores. I'm the Associate Vice President for Budget and Financial Services with El Paso Community College. I would like to thank you in advance for letting me address the board today. The reason for my visit this afternoon is to request a waiver of penalty and interest for a late payment from the college to the Central Appraisal District. The payment that I'm referring to relates to an invoice that we received from the Central Appraisal District in a timely manner that had a due date of September 30th. We were well aware of the due date and proceeded to work towards meeting that deadline. We produced a check dated September 27th, moved it to our check distribution area, which printed it, moved it over to our mail services, which metered it. The check did not arrive until October 3rd to the Central Appraisal District, late 3 days. The check that I'm referring to is for the services that we received from the appraisal district. And so the reason for requesting a waiver of the penalty of $9,522 and $156 in interest is because in our long association with the Central Appraisal District, we have never been late before. And also, going forward, we have reached out to the administration at Central Appraisal District and asked them to go on to direct deposit. And they have returned the forms, and now going forward, they will be on direct deposit. Going on direct deposit will eliminate the need to print a check, meter it, and deliver it for payment. The time period that created the late payment, we were closing our fiscal year, opening up another year, and creating new POs, very busy time. We were aware, we made an effort, and we apologize for not getting that payment to you in time. So those are the reasons for requesting a waiver of the $9,522 in penalty and $156 in interest. Do you have any questions that I might answer at this time?
When was the original invoice due?
Excuse me?
When was the
September
original-
30th.
September 30th.
Yes, sir.
And you all cut the check on the 27th.
Yes, sir.
And it was received on the 5th
On the 3rd?
of October?
October
So-
3rd. Postmarked October, yeah.
So not too long ago, or sometime during my tenure here, we had this before, and we waived
did.
it, right?
We waived it for the El Paso Independent School District.
Yeah, I'll move to waive this. I don't think it's unreasonable, particularly since the check was cut. And you all have moved to the automatic?
Direct deposit.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
that's easier.
I concur. I feel that the waiver is not necessary.
I mean, particularly since they haven't, ever been late before.
No, and the fact is that, as an entity of this community and all the good that y'all do, there's no need to be slapping hands or what have you. These things happen in business all the time. So I would concur with you to move to waive.
And to let the board know, as an appraisal district, we're not allowed to waive that penalty and interest. It does have to come before the board.
Right.
So we would have already taken some kind of action. So that's why these two come
that's
to the
fine.
board.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, Ms. Wilson, will you make that motion?
Sure, I'll move to waive
I
it.
second it.
We have a motion by Mrs. Wilson to go ahead and waive the penalty and the accrued interest. We have a second by Mr. Rosales. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
We appreciate your time and consideration. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to tab item 11, discussion, possible action regarding appointment of the Appraisal Review Board ARB Chairperson and Secretary.
Mr. Chairman and board members, Tracy Carter is the taxpayer liaison officer that you have appointed, and one of her responsibilities is working with the board of directors regarding the appointments, and so we're going to turn it over to her.
Good evening, Board of Directors. It's that time of year again for you all to appoint a chairman of the Appraisal Review Board and the secretary of the Appraisal Review Board. I didn't send you all the packets on each individual candidate. And I also have it in the blue folder, just in case, if you guys want to have it in hand. It's also on the blue folder. But would y'all like to start off with the chairman for the Appraisal Review Board? We have Michael Briggs. He is requesting reappointment as the chairman of the Appraisal Review Board. And he is the only candidate that we have for the chairman. And for the secretary this year, we had 4 candidates. We have Alma Baraza, Judith Franco, Earl Maxson, and Cristobal Rodriguez. I did have them all here just in case you all have any questions for them.
Let's go ahead and vote on Mr. Briggs since he's the only candidate
Sounds
for
great.
the chair. Are there any questions for Mr. Briggs at this point? No? If
Can I
not-
see who Mr. Briggs is, just in case?
Yes, Mr.
I
Briggs,
know who I'm voting for.
definitely.
Thank you, Ms. Briggs.
Mr. Briggs and Mr. Munoz is the current secretary, but his term is up. They do come to the board meetings. So when the liaison officer gives a report, if you have any questions for them, they are here, so they do attend.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve Mr. Briggs as the ARB chair.
So move.
We have a motion by Mr. Rosales. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Morales. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Briggs. Thank you for committing again. So moving on to the secretary position, we've got 4 candidates here.
Yes.
What I'd like to do is give each of them about 2 minutes to kind of just give us an idea of why it is you want to serve in that capacity.
Okay, great.
Good. We'll start with Mrs. Barraza.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I wasn't planning to apply for secretary, but some of my fellow members encouraged me to do it. I was very grateful to know that they respect me and they see me as their secretary. And also, I'm very knowledgeable. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting, 12 years on real estate. I have the ability to mediate in between people. I've been working in customer service since my first job when I was 16 years old. And I'm very flexible, I'm reliable, and I'm very honest and fair. I think I can be a very, very good support for our chairman and for the ARB. I think I get along very good with ARB, the CAD personnel so far, some of them, the ones that I know. And that's it.
You
Any
do have 4
questions?
years serving as an ARB member?
Yes, sir. This is the end of my 4th year.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Judith Franco?
Good evening. I'm Judith Franco, and I've been on the board for 5 years. Next year will be my 6th year, and I'm very proud to have been serving my community in this way. I've been a realtor for 23 years in commercial and property management and residential. I'm dependable, punctual, I have organizational skills, and when you're a realtor, you have to go through all of that with the different stages. I've also owned my own business before. And I think that's about all. I don't know if you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Mr. Maxson, Earl Maxson?
Good evening, and thank you, board members. Thank you for your service, because I know it's voluntary, and appreciate what you do for the El Paso Central Appraisal District. My background is primarily in business. I was in restaurants, but I've also been involved in leadership development, facilitation, internet office supplies. I've done lots of different things. One of the more rewarding ones has been being an ARB member. I'm finishing up my 3rd year, so I'll be going into my 4th year. the senior members of several senior members of the current board have endorsed me through different letters of recommendation, which I was most appreciative of. I think the skills that are necessary are being able to handle the public and work with the public, because when we're under fire in June and July, the waiting room out there can be rather chaotic, and being able to keep things under control and move people in and out of the different panels and the hearings, I think is something that I'm used to, because I had to manage restaurants and owned restaurants that were very busy and high-volume restaurants. As far as dealing with any problems, I feel very comfortable putting out fires and dealing with skirmishes that happen from time to time between ARB members and agents. Typically, that's where most of the rub comes. And I just would look forward to working with Mike Briggs. He and Fred have done an incredible job together with the district. This last year, I think it was the smoothest year ever, and I don't shortchange the job the district did, because they resolved a whole lot of issues downstairs before they ever had to come upstairs. But other than that, is there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Maxon. Appreciate it. Mr. Rodriguez, Cristobal or Chris?
Well, my name is Cristobal, but
Cristobal.
I go by Chris.
Okay.
Good evening, board members. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come here before you all, and I just want to say that this will be my second term, fourth year, second term. And the reason I decided to take on, to go ahead and apply for this position is because I saw, like the other board members saw, how smooth the ARB was running, and it was all, to me, it was credited to Mr. Briggs and Mr. Munoz. So after Mr. Munoz was going to have to leave, I decided, you know what, I want to continue that. I want to go ahead and continue that smooth transition, because if we don't, we're going to lose that. So that's the reason that I decided to do that. And I feel like the reason that I'm the best candidate is because mostly my career has been in law enforcement. I spent 30 years with the Texas Department of Public Safety, and then after I retired from there, I went to work with the school district and as the emergency manager for the El Paso Independent School District, and I created their emergency management plan for the whole district at that time. So I've always been a problem solver, whether it was the public or whether it was with other people. So I feel like that is my strength, and also I'm very punctual, and I'm also very I believe in not leaving until all work has been done. So I've always took that. Any task that I take it seriously, and any task that I do, whether it's small, I give it my best. So that's the reason that I feel like, that I feel like I should be able to do this. If you have any questions,
Any questions for Chris? No. Thank you very much.
Once again, I thank you.
Appreciate it. We have a lot of recommendations with all of the candidates. Looks like we have 4 good candidates. Is there any recommendations from the board? Carmen, can we deliberate in executive session around this?
Yes,
We can? Okay. Then we'll go ahead and do that when we go into executive session.
I would like to do that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
There's 4 good candidates, and it's going to be a hard choice. I'd just like to have a conversation.
Okay. All right.
The vote would take place in open session.
In open session, yes.
Yeah, I mean, just could we recess to discuss and then come back out? And then
Yeah,
move
let's
to
do
go?
that. We'll go into executive session twice then.
Okay.
Okay? So as of, it's 6:04 right now, we're going to leave. Who? You want to do everything at once?
Well, the other ones may take longer. Are the other ones going to be long in executive session?
Well, there's
One of
2
them
things
will.
in executive session, my evaluation and the fountains at FARA.
Now, let's just go in and do these and come out so that.
Yeah, so it's 6:04. We're going to step out of regular session as part of the Texas Government Code 551071 and 551074. 6:04.
Board members,
Yeah.
because we have
session. Excuse me, now back into regular session. Again, we're going back to tab item 11, discussion of possible action regarding appointment of the Appraisal Review Board. We've already done the chairperson and now the secretary. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we nominate for the position of secretary, Ms. Alma Barraza.
So we have a motion to nominate Mrs. Alma Barraza. Is there a second? Second. We have a second by Mr. Morales. The motion was made by Mr. Taylor. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Congratulations.
And thank everybody for
Your willingness to serve.
very hard to make a decision, but we appreciate it.
And we're glad that you guys are still working, serving on the ARB boards. Thank you. Okay, moving on to tab item number 12, the taxpayer liaison report. Tracy?
Well, the past 2 months, we started our advertisement for the Appraisal Review Board members. We had a great turnout this year. We had 43 applicants. And I must let you all know that Judge Maria Salas Mendoza, she had worked very hard. She would do the interviews during her breaks, during court cases. There was times that we stood there until 6, 7 o'clock at night to try to get all the interviews done. She did appoint 22 members for the 2018 Appraisal Review Board. 12 of the members were reappointed. They were part of the Appraisal Review Board. They had to apply again for another term, and they were reappointed. We had one of them that had prior ARB experience. We have 9 new ARB members that the judge had appointed. And also in the blue folder, I did give you all a list just to give you a little summary, a little background of each applicant that she had appointed.
Okay.
And then we have 13 board members that are not up for their next term, so they sit
now.
another year. So she appointed 22, and then she appointed 10 alternates, but we have 13 board members that were still in their current term,
Okay,
so they just carry over.
okay.
So we ended up with a total of 35, which is what the board of directors has approved us to have.
Okay, great.
And also, part of my responsibilities is to send the state comptrollers any comments and suggestions that I receive from the public. And want to let you all know I did do that. I sent that to them on August the 23rd. And next, on December the 4th through the 7th, the ARB are going to be in session. They're going to have late protests from December 4th through the 7th.
Any questions from Ms. Carter?
No, good report.
All right,
Good
Tracy.
group, they have good background.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Before I forget, let the record reflect that Mr. Pettis arrived at 5:42. Moving on to tab item number 13, the Chief Appraiser's Report.
Board members, a couple of things I'd like to bring you up to speed on. Number one, I would like to recognize one of our employees, Mr. James Thompson. If you would stand up. Mr. James Thompson was recently appointed by Comptroller Hager for a position as Property Value Study Advisory Committee. That's the first time we've ever had anybody west of the Pecos, and of course anybody from El Paso. So we're very, very proud. Representative Mary Gonzalez also sent in a reference letter backing his appointment. So I wanted to bring that up to the board members.
Congratulations.
I'm very happy about that.
How long is the term?
I think until it's reappointed, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, it's till the controller will reappoint someone to that position. I'll start serving in January, be my first week.
I wanted to let the board members know, I had a visit today from a gentleman, and he asked that I bring this up to the board of directors when he heard that we were having a meeting. The gentleman's name is Mr. Holguin, and he's been dealing with us off and on for the last 5 years. And he wanted the board members to know that he has never been in a building, a government building or a private business that had such wonderful customer service and assistance as our appraisal district. He said, 110%, A++, that everybody he's dealt with, from the receptionist, smiling, how can we help you, has been at several different departments, and he wanted me to pass this on to the board of directors. He said he's sure that we get a lot of complaints, not sure how many compliments we get in person, and he wanted the board to know that every time he's been in here, He's been assisted and plus some, and is very, very pleased that our employees here could go out and give a customer service, how to treat the public to a lot of different organizations. He's a retired school teacher and has worked with handicapped children. So I was very pleased with that, and I told him I would assure him that I would pass that on to the board of directors.
That's worthy of some media.
Yes, it is, sir. Unfortunately, the media, whenever we do that, they always ignore us. So, but we will definitely try and get some of that. We have tried in the past to get out positive whenever we have received any kind of an award or recognition, and we always end up getting bumped for something else. But we will definitely try that. We'll put it on our website.
maybe that, as they come in the building, you'll be surprised of how the steam is worked up in people's heads
right
when they have to come here, or other places that do the county and the state's business in this fashion. And when we get stuff like that, the public's got to know that they can be relaxed in themselves and come here and take care of business.
We agree 100%. We definitely agree. That's why we spend extra time in training our staff on customer service.
That's beautiful. Thanks.
I wanted to let the board know, one of the things we're looking at, since we won't be meeting in December, there are new deadlines for our business personal property renditions. They moved them up, the legislature moved them up from mid-April to April 1st. So what we're doing, my business personal property manager has put together a very nice informational letter that's in English and Spanish, English on one side, Spanish on the other. And so that is going to go in the envelope with the renditions. But we're also looking at that, plus a notice to the public about being able to file for their exemptions free, because we've got some companies now that are sending out letters, let us file and we'll charge. So those two things we're going to not just put on our website, but I'm going to pay for ads in the El Paso Times, in the El Paso El Dario, twice in January and twice in March, along with the normal publication that we have to do by the state code. We're going to advertise that and try to get out public service announcements letting everybody know that these deadlines have changed. So I wanted to inform the board if they see that. The one publication is required. There's certain publications that are required by state law, but we feel like this is information that needs to get out there. So whatever we can do to get it out there, we're going to. So I wanted to let you know about that. 2018 is going to be a reappraisal year. We're busy in the field. We're working testing our tables. So I wanted to let you know about that. Education, we're continuing on. We have a couple of courses that are required by the state and a couple of courses from the international that we're still working on. We've had a couple, and we're going to have another 2 more the week after Thanksgiving. The maps, the methods and procedures, preliminary report has come in, and preliminarily we've passed all that's required. The final won't come in until into January. But so far, the field reviewer has said that looks like we're going to be passing everything. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And that's it.
Any questions, Diana? Well, there are no more questions. We're going to go ahead and go back into executive session now. It is 6:23, and this is under Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.074. Discussion of legal and personal matters. tab item number 14, executive session. Tab item number, oops, sorry about that, closed on me. We're going to go ahead and take tab item B, C, D, E, and F. Is there a motion on those items?
So I move to accept the mediated valuation as presented in executive session.
We have a motion by Mrs. Wilson to accept the proposed settlement on items B, C, D, E, and F. We have a second by Mr. Rosales. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Tab item number 8, the Chief Appraiser's Office, Chief Appraiser's Evaluation. Dinah, we did have a conversation. We want to thank you very much for last year's service, and then you and I will be meeting together to kind of go through for next year's plan.
Okay.
Okay? Moving on to tab item 15, discussion and possible action. We've done that, I'm sorry. Should have been item 15. So with that, if there is no further business, then we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay? 7:34.